Greetings, fellow dungeon delvers, and welcome to Dorans and Dragons, where we work together to come up with Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition builds for your favorite League of Legends champions. Today we're building Bard, the Wandering Caretaker. Bard is a celestial being, special in that he does not see reality, but hears it as a wonderful symphony. He travels the swirling harmony created by the notes of creation surrounded by a choir of meeps. During his travels, he encountered an oddity in the glorious symphony. This oddity was the world of Runeterra, and the chaotic melody forced Bard and his meeps to cross into the material plane to attempt to correct it. Roaming and traveling amongst its people changed his views on the matter entirely, though. Though there was chaos, there was also complexity and beauty that he could not in good conscience harm. He now wanders the land, only stepping in whenever an anomaly too great to ignore presents itself. He helps the people of Runeterra and then fades back into the background track of the world, an unsung hero. Before we get started with the build, go ahead and like the video and hit that subscribe button so you're always notified when we release our builds. We'd like to take a minute and thank our awesome patrons over on Patreon who support us every month. Thanks for helping us keep the lights on and the meeps chiming. If you like our videos and want to support the channel, come join us over on Patreon today for just $1 to get access to our awesome Discord community where we talk League and D&D all day long. Alright, now let's get into it. Here's a quick preview of the build. For race, we're going with Protector Aasimar. Per usual, our stats are going to be determined using the standard array. For our stat priorities, we're going to max Charisma and Dump Strength. We do have a multi-class requirement of 13 in Charisma and Wisdom. Our leveling path is going to be levels 1 through 4 in Sorcerer, then Bard and Druid for 3 levels each, and then finishing the build out with more levels of Sorcerer. Bard's passive, Traveler's Call, is going to come from Mode of Potential. Our Q, Cosmic Binding, will come from Rolithan's Psychic Lance or Guiding Bolt, depending on your number of targets. His W, Caretaker Shrine, comes from Healing Spirit. Our E, Magical Journey, will come from Arcane Gate. And finally, we get our ultimate, Tempered Fate, from Symbol. For race, we're going with Protector Aasimar. Bard is a Celestial, and Protector Aasimar is about as close to that as we're going to get. We'll pick up a +2 to our Charisma and a +1 to our Wisdom. Celestial Resistance is going to give us resistance to necrotic and radiant damage. Protector Aasimars also have Healing Hands, allowing us to touch a creature and give it HP equal to our level once per long rest. We also have the Light Bearer feature, giving us the Light cantrip. And finally, we'll get Radiant Soul at 3rd level. As an action, we can transform for a minute, growing some magical wings and making our eyes glow. We'll have a 30-foot flying speed, and once per turn we can add some extra radiant damage equal to our character level whenever we deal damage. This all recharges on a long rest. For background, Entertainer is a no-brainer. This is going to give us our Horn and Performance proficiencies, and Acrobatics as a fun bonus. We'll also get the By Popular Demand feature, which is going to guarantee you a place to stay and grub for you and your party as long as you perform there. For stats, we're going to emulate your enemy bot lane's therapist after you're done with them and seek balance with the standard array. Roll if you want to, just keep at least a 13 in Charisma and Wisdom for multi-classing requirements. To no one's surprise, we're going to open with Charisma. We're going to need it for our performances and spellcasting. We'll go with Dexterity next for our nimbleness on our journey to collect our chimes. Constitution is going to be after that so we can get some thickness on our boy. Then we'll take Wisdom for multi-classing, and because being an internal being probably has learned a thing or two about the universe. Our Intelligence is going to be average and we'll dump Strength. Alrighty, since we don't need any equipment besides our trusty Horn, we're going to jump right into the class level breakdown with some levels in Sorcerer. Sorcerers have a d6 hit die and proficiencies with daggers, darts, slings, quarterstaffs, and light crossbows. We're also going to be proficient in Arcana and Insight. For our Sorceress origin, we're going to draw on our Celestial heritage with the Divine Soul. This is going to give us Divine Magic and the Favored by the Gods feature. Divine Magic is going to give us access to the Cleric spell list, and a free spell based on our affinity. Since we're good, we'll get the Cure Wounds spell. This allows us to touch a creature and heal it for 1d8 plus our Charisma mod. Favored by the Gods is going to let us fix a boo-boo by allowing us to roll 2d4 whenever we miss an attack or fail a save, and see if that can give us the nudge we need to succeed. You can do it once per rest, so don't forget about it. And finally, we get our first level spells. We're going to pick up our Q whenever we have a target isolated with nothing to tether the second attack to with Guiding Bolt. You fire off a bolt of light and make a special attack roll. If it hits, you deal 4d6 radiant damage, and the next attack roll made against that target has advantage. Second level sorcerers gain Font of Magic. This gives you a pool of sorcery points to use to better manipulate your celestial magic. Right now though, you can only convert sorcery points to spell slots or vice versa, but next level we'll gain the ability to really put them to work. Level 3 sorcerers unlock the Meta Magic feature. Meta Magic is a set of options you can use to enhance your spells at the cost of sorcery points. We only have one important option here that we're going to focus on for the build, which is Twin Spell, which we'll be using for our Q. When you cast a spell, you can spend sorcery points equal to the spell's level to target a second creature within range of the same spell you're casting. Twin Spell is going to let us twin Rolotham Psychic Lance whenever we have two targets close together to get the Cosmic Binding damage and stun. 4th level sorcerers pick up the first ability score improvement of the build. As always, we're going to break down all of your options here so you can choose them at your leisure. This build has no feats, so we'll just be bumping ability scores here. At Sorcerer 4, we're going to even out our Charisma and Constitution scores with a point each. At Sorcerer 8, we'll max our Charisma with 2 points. And finally at Sorcerer 12, we'll bump our Constitution 2 points for a little more health. Alrighty, now we're going to swap over to the class we needed to put in this build, or the entire comments section would have been a dumpster fire. I mean, the rightful class for this character because his name is Bard, am I right? Bards do have a D8 hit die though, so that'll give us a little love in that department. We're also going to pick up light armor proficiency and another skill proficiency, so we'll take religion. The only feature we'll get this level is the Bard's bread and butter, Bardic Inspiration. These are a pool of d6s we can give to our allies to add to a check, save, or attack. The pool is equal to our Charisma mod, so even though we're only grabbing a few levels in this class, we'll have plenty of inspiration to hand out. 2nd level Bards gain Jack of all trades, which allows you to add half of your proficiency bonus to any skill you're not proficient in. We also learn the Song of Rest this level, allowing you to boost your allies' healing during a short rest. If anyone spends a hit die during the short rest, they also regain 1d6 hit points on top of that. Level 3 Bards gain Expertise and choose their Bard College. Expertise is going to let us double our proficiency bonus for 2 skills. We'll go with Performance and Arcana for obvious reasons. And for our Bard College, we're going to focus on the notes of Celestial Harmony with the College of Creation. This college is going to give us the Mode of Potential and Performance of Creation features. Mode of Potential is going to be our meeps. Whenever we give a Bardic Inspiration die, a little meep follows that creature, amplifying the Inspiration die depending on how they use it. For ability checks, you'll gain advantage on the roll. For saving throws, the meep will play a sound and give that character temporary hit points based on the number of the Inspiration die, plus our Charisma mod. And finally for attack rolls, the meep shatters against the target, forcing a con save on the target and each creature within 5 feet of it, making it take thunder damage equal to whatever was rolled on the Inspiration die. Performance of Creation will let us create our little chimes we find around the map. As an action, you channel the Song of Creation to create a non-magical object within 10 feet of you. The item has to be medium or smaller and disappears after a number of hours based on our proficiency bonus. You can do this once per long rest unless you want to spend a 2nd level or higher spell slot to use the feature again. Alrighty, now we need to get our W with some levels in Druid. Druids also have a D8 hit die, and give us a couple armor proficiencies, and the ability to use a shield if we want to. We're going to learn the secret Druidic language that only our fellow Druids will know and understand, and that's about it. Don't worry though, we're here for the good stuff at level 3. 2nd level Druids gain Wild Shape, and choose their Druid Circle. This will let you turn yourself into an animal form according to a few rules listed on the table. It's not super bard related though, so we're going to skip over it for now. For our Druidic Circle, we're going to bump our healing shrines a little bit with the Circle of the Shepherd. We'll pick up the Speech of the Woods and Spirit Totem features. Speech of the Woods is going to let us speak Sylvan and to relatively communicate with beasts. Spirit Totem is going to let us create a unicorn spirit with a 30-foot aura for a minute. Each creature healed in that aura is going to gain 3 additional hit points, which scales fairly well as long as you have multiple people getting healed multiple times, like with our W. Level 3 Druids learn 2nd level spells. We're going to pick up our W with the Healing Spirit spell. This will be a little shrine we create that'll heal any creature we choose for 1d6 hit points anytime they pass through the shrine. It'll heal a number of times equal to our spellcasting mod, and you can upcast the spell with high spell slots, giving another d6 per spell slot above 2nd level. And we're going to head back into Sorcerer to get the rest of our abilities and some more sorcery points to have fun with. 6th level Divine Soul Sorcerers gain Empowered Healing. Whenever you or an ally within 5 feet rolls to try and regain hit points, you can spend a sorcery point to reroll any of those dice once per turn. Level 7 Sorcerers gain 4th level spells. We're going to get the stunning version of our Q with one of my favorite Unearthed Arcana spells, Rolitham's Psychic Lance. If you're linking the creature to terrain, no need to twin the spell. But if you're using the spell against 2 close targets, you will need to twin the spell at the cost of 4 sorcery points. The spell shoots out a shimmering lance of psychic power, forcing an intelligence save. If the creature fails to save, it takes 10d6 psychic damage and is incapacitated until the start of your next turn. Now we'll skip up to level 11 Sorcerer to pick up our E with a 6th level spell, Arcane Gate. Arcane Gate is going to let us create 2 linked portals, the first within 10 feet of you, and the second one up to 500 feet away. These portals can be walked through as if the spaces were adjacent to each other. Only one end of the portal can be entered though, which you choose. Unlike Bard's E though, you can swap these sides with a bonus action. And finally we go up to Sorcerer 13 for 7th level spells and our ultimate with the Symbol spell. You'll inscribe a harmful glyph over the course of a minute on a surface and choose a trigger for the spell, like if your enemy starts to cast a powerful spell or it sneezes too loudly. Once triggered, the glyph fills a 60-foot radius with dim light for 10 minutes, affecting each creature that enters the sphere with the chosen spell option. We're going with Stunning, which will force a Wisdom save on each creature and stun them for a minute if they fail to save. It's not exactly frozen and invulnerable in time, but it's a pretty good backup. Alright, now that we've completed the build, let's see how we did. First, the good. This build has a lot of fun quirks and has potential for tons of damage. We also got our little meeps and our shrines to help our allies. And we can't forget how we'll play a mean note on the horn. Now the bad. There isn't too much bad about this build to talk about, honestly. We're a little squishy, but the extra con points and the 6 levels in a D8 health class really help out. We'll still want to stay in the backline and only step up to help our allies though. So what'd you think? I've included a link to this build via D&D Beyond in the description below, as well as Amazon links to the books used in the build. If you enjoy this type of content, please consider supporting us on Patreon. We have a few awesome rewards, and you get access to our great Discord community. We plan on churning out one League Champion build every week. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll catch you on the Rift, or the Forgotten Realms.